it's Miss Liz. We are here finally after Christmas break. I hope you guys had a wonderful break at that. I hope you guys had a lot of cool presents and toys. I can't wait to hear from you guys to see what you guys got. Let me know in the comments or send me an email. Any of those will work. This week we are going to be finishing off the last of our 2 weeks of science projects. So let's get into it. I'm super excited about this project because it was something that I first saw, and it was really the whole reason why I wanted to do the whole theme of science for these next couple of weeks. And yeah, so today we are going to be growing bacteria in petri dishes. So what you will be receiving in your bag is you should have a Ziploc bag. It should have 2 petri dishes in it and 2 cotton swabs in one Ziploc bag. And then you should also receive a Sharpie. And for this week, the last thing for this week should be this Ziploc bag quart size and a small tube of agar powder. And then before we get into the science project, I will explain what agar powder is. So in order to grow our bacteria in our petri dishes, we have to create a solution that bacteria will grow and feed on. And in this case, it is going to be our agar powder, which is this little, I don't know if you can see it, which is this little bottle right here. And what agar powder is, it is a derivative from seaweed, and it's mixed with some nutrients from beef. So it's something that scientists have come up with, and they feel like they have found that it's the best way to grow bacteria in a petri dish. So that's what we're going to be using today. What you'll also need, a wavable container. This is mine right here. And you're going to fill it with 1/4 cup of water. So this is what my 1/4 cup looks like. The label is a bit scratched off, but that's about the size right there. The next thing you'll need from your toolbox is going to be your tape, okay? So I know you've used it for a lot of things. You've used it for your art canvas, you've used it for your bottle rockets, your kaleidoscope. So you've used it for a lot, and we are going to be using this again, okay? And same with the Sharpie. So save the Sharpie for the next 2 weeks because we are going to be using it for something really cool and different and fun. And I'm excited about that project. But yeah, so keep this in your toolbox as well as the tape that you've been having for these last couple of months. And so that's what you'll need. First things first, I want you to measure out your water and pour it into your microwavable bowl. Once you do that, you will be receiving your own little tube of already measured out agar powder. Mine is not measured out yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. One thing for this agar powder, guys, because this is science and it is just a derivative from seaweed, but I still want to be cautious and just tell you guys, just dump it into the water. Don't play with the powder. Don't smell it or anything like that. Just dump it into the water like I am right now, and go ahead and mix it. Don't worry if it doesn't mix all the way because you will be heating this up. Okay, so once you got your half of a teaspoon of agar powder poured into your microwavable bowl with 1/4 cup of water, you are going to grab this and put this into your microwave for 3 minutes. Okay guys, we are back. So as you can see, I have my already heated up mixture in my bowl. And before we do this, I want you to see that I already put duct tape on the top of my petri dish, okay? So the top of your petri dish is going to be the bigger part, okay? So the lid is going to be bigger than the bottom part. So there'll be a bigger top and then a smaller bottom, and that's how you know which one is top and which one is bottom. I'm going to carefully remove the top of the lids. Move that out of the way. Carefully remove the top of the lids. And now that I have my mixture heated up, be careful, it is a little bit warm. So if you're nervous about hot stuff, please have mom and dad help you, okay? So this is what your mixture should look like. It should look almost like a little bit of a gelatin, and that's correct. If it's like that, then that's good. We're going places. So I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and pour your mixture into halfway into your dish, the sink, and then pour the rest into your other dish. And guys, it is quite okay if it's, just make sure it's quite okay if there's it's uneven, like you didn't measure out the same amount for either petri dish. That's okay. You only need a little bit. I do want you to make sure you cover up the whole bottom of the petri dish. There you go. And by doing that, you just pour, you just kind of move it around like I just did right now. Make sure you're covering the whole bottom surface. There we go. That's there. So now that I have my solution into my petri dishes, I'm going to place the lid on top of them, and I'm gonna let them cool. It is a gelatin-like mixture, so I want you to go ahead and give it an hour or so for it to gel up, and then we will get on with our experiment. So I will see you guys in 1 hour. Okay guys, so we are back. Now that the gel has cooled, we have our gel containers. So if you can kind of see our little petri dish right here. And then we are gonna have our 2 lids that have tape on them. I've already labeled mine, and what you'll want to do is, for 1 petri dish, we are gonna be collecting and testing, or collecting and growing the bacteria from our hands when they are dirty, and then we're gonna wash our hands, and then we're gonna collect it again and swab it on the other side of the petri dish. And then for the other side of the petri dish, you guys are gonna go ahead and choose a surface in your house, in your backyard, in your room, that you think might be dirty or have a lot of germs or bacteria. You're gonna swab it, and you are going to run it in the petri dish on one side, and then on the other side you're gonna sanitize that same area, and you are going to do the same thing, swab it on the other side of the petri dish. That way you guys can see the difference. What happens whenever we wash our hands, and what happens whenever we sanitize a surface. So how washing our hands and keeping everything clean around us really does make a difference in bacteria, okay? So you should still have this quart-sized bag, and on my quart-sized bag, I wrote the date that I collected my sample, which is our petri dishes. And so right here, I put January 4th, 2021. And then next, I'm gonna go ahead and grab out these, okay? So these are my cotton swabs. And the first thing we are gonna do, we are gonna swab is our hands. So go ahead and grab out one of the swabs. And what you're gonna do is, before you collect your sample, you're gonna wanna wet this, okay? And so I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my 1/4 of a cup with water. And you don't need a lot, just a little bit to make sure the tip of your cotton swab is wet. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab my cotton swab, dip it in water, make sure it's wet to collect all the bacteria. So now that it's wet, I'm just gonna run it across my hand. Now when I'm running it across my hand, I'm making sure to twist it like this, as you can see my fingers, to make sure every part of the cotton swab gets around on my hand and gets the bacteria off, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and switch hands and take it around this hand. Just kind of get anywhere on your hands, it doesn't really matter. Now once you've done that, you're gonna choose 1 petri dish, and you're gonna squiggle, while still rolling it like this, squiggle your cotton swab across the dish, like so. So if I know that my dish is gonna be over here, so you're gonna slowly go like this across the dish. And it should make a faint line in the agar solution. If it doesn't, then you need to push a little bit harder. But once you've rubbed it along one side, keep note which side you put the dirty hand side on. So mine is on the left side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my label and switch it over to the left side right now, so I know which one it is. So dirty hands go on this side. Now, after I've done that, I'm going to make sure the dirty side is on the dirty side, and leave it on the lid like that. I'm gonna go wash my hands and re-swab, okay? Hey guys, I'm back. I just washed my hands with hot soapy water for 20 seconds, just like we know how to do that, just like we should. I washed my hands with hot soapy water for 20 seconds, and then I dried my hands with a paper towel instead of a bath towel like I normally would, like a hand cloth. Just to make sure that my hands are extra clean and don't touch anything extra. And so what I'm going to do now is hopefully, now that my hands are clean, I'm going to go ahead and use the side of the swab that I didn't use before. So this side is one I haven't used, so I'm going to go ahead and swab now. And go over here between my fingers just to see if I did really well with that. And above, okay. I'm going to switch. Make sure you're still rolling it just like you did before whenever your hands were not washed. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go ahead and grab your Petri dish, and you are going to still twisting it like this. Twist it across the surface, making sure you're getting every surface of the cotton swab on the Petri dish as possible. Okay, and now that you've done that, I don't know if you can see, oh yeah, you can, or no you can't, you can kind of see the lines, but you can't, oh, a little bit. So if you see those like lines right there and lines right there, those are the lines of the bacteria that I collected off of my hands. So now that I know which side is which, I'm gonna put that on there so my dirty hands are on the left and my clean hands are on the right. So that Petri dish sample is done. So you're gonna go ahead and dispose of your cotton swab. The next dish is gonna be up to you guys completely. Now I've decided to go ahead and swab the table outside, partially because it's outside, so it's a whole different area of bacteria and I believe type and kind. So fingers crossed that I might get a reaction that's different than what's what's in my other Petri dish. So let's go ahead and do that. So what you'll want to do is go to the surface that you're going to want to swab. Swab it with one side of the cotton swab. Remember rolling it like this, and then grab a disinfectant wipe, which mine are right here. Make sure the surface is clean and dried off, and then swab it after you just sanitized it, and then go ahead and do exactly what we did with our hands in this Petri dish on this one. Okay, so let's get started. Okay guys, I'm back. I just swabbed the outside table, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll my swab on the Petri dish. So go ahead like before, rolling, making sure you get every side. Okay, after that's done, you're gonna switch sides, making sure you still remember which side is which. Okay, and once you've done that, so you're gonna go ahead and dispose of this cotton swab. And then remembering which side was which, so I know my dirty side is gonna be on the left and my clean side is on the right. So now that I have both my Petri dishes labeled clean and dirty, I'm gonna put on my Petri dish what the items were. So on this one I put clean hands and dirty hands, and then I put clean surface and dirty surface. Then right here, I'm just gonna put outside table on top of my Petri dish. Okay. So a couple things before we finish this off. We are gonna be storing them not in this Ziploc bag, so you can go ahead and get rid of this, dispose of that. And then we are gonna be putting them in your quart size Ziploc bag with the date that you should put on there. So whenever you collect your samples, that's the date that you should put on your bag. So I collected mine on the 4th of January, 2021, and that's what I put on this bag. A couple of things that I read while looking at this experiment is this will grow, the bacteria is going to grow on the dirty side, and hopefully not as much bacteria will grow on the right side where the clean surface was, okay? So after we do that and we examine what it looks like after a couple days, you can see what it looks like. You'll see all the bacteria that you collected. Please, after you see you can show it around after you see all the bacteria. but please do not open up the Petri dishes once you put them back in the bag, okay? So you're gonna put them in the bag right now, and then you're gonna turn them upside down and put them in a kind of a dark place and wait for a couple of hours, and they should already be growing, okay? But once you've done that, please do not take them out of the bag because it is bacteria that you're growing. So we don't want anything to be on the loose. So just for something really cool to look at and to see the difference between washing your hands and not washing your hands and having clean surfaces around your house, okay? So go ahead and do that right now. So in the experiment that I read, they said that they put theirs upside down, which I don't understand why, but I'm gonna do that anyway because that's what they said to do. So go ahead and place your dish upside down. Do be sure to know that this will not mess up your experiment because it is a gelatin. It is a gelatin mixture that we poured into the Petri dish, so nothing will get really messy. So I've already sealed my bag. From this point on, I'm not gonna open it. I'm not gonna open the lid to the Petri dish or anything like that. Once I've seen my bacteria grown and the difference between clean hands and dirty hands and a clean surface and a dirty surface, I'm gonna go ahead and dispose of it, okay? So that is one of the things in this science experiment that I'm stressing is please do not open the bag and mess around with the gelatin after the bacteria has grown, okay? Just throw it away and yeah, enjoy it for what it was.